Ashe, Ashe and Grand Rising, a grand day to you all, my fellow humans. And welcome to this, the seventh in the series of another perspective on healthy living with your senior lifestyle advisor plus, yes, I, the mystic philosopher. Now, from feedback and feed forward and commentary that I have received from some of you, my few but very loyal viewers and commentators, I honestly think that I must have done a reasonably good job in episode 6, dissecting and explaining for you the word human, hopefully for your edification, for your enlightenment, and possible I was able to provoke you to see and think of your fellow humans, our fellow humans, and yourself a bit more respectfully and hopefully more caringly. I ended that episode by saying that human is an expression of the mind of God, aka the mind of the all. Human is an expression of the mind of the unknowable. When I speak of God, the unknowable. An expression meaning what comes out. Express what comes out of the mind of God. And that just like how a building, I gave the example, like just like how a building is an expression of the mind of an architect, because it was first conceived and achieved in the mind, the metaphysical space of the architect, even before it was schematically drawn on paper and manifest physically in this reality. But from I, the mystic philosopher's perspective, only a dumb fool would say or believe that the building is the architect. Therefore, the same logic would apply to all those that are going around believing and claiming an evil acting like they are God. And I promised to continue proving and explaining, or rather expanding upon this and other points in now this episode 7 and beyond. So from my perspective, we humans, and by extension everything else for that matter, are from and we belong to the mind of God, the mind of the all, the mind of the unknowable. The mind, in the mind of God, aka the mind of the all, the unknowable, which I've defined and spent some time explaining in earlier episodes. The all, the unknowable. We live in the mind of the all, the unknowable. We live and move and have our being, aka we have our existence. Now, please note very carefully that I did not say that we are from or that we exist in the essence of the unknowable, aka that we exist in the essence of God. But I said that we are from and that we exist in, or rather we exist and that we are existing in the mind of the all, or in its mind depends on how you view, however you may conceive the all to be in the capacity of a human, however you may conceive it to be. We are existing in the mind, or if you will wish to say in its mind. I ask that you pay very close attention to this truth. or at the very least to this, I may refer to as this possibility. Now, if this is true, or if I am indeed correct, then here are some very thought-provoking questions that I am hereby tempted to ask. Number one, is it possible that we are just thoughts, ideas, expressions, and figments of God's imagination, aka the all's imagination? We are just figments of its imagination. Is that possible? Number two, is it at all possible that individually, collectively, racially, and otherwise, as humans, that some of us, if not all of us, have overestimated our importance, and that we are overestimating our importance and our existence in the mind of God, aka in the mind of the all? Something to think about. Number three, is it at all possible that we are, or that we might be just an experiment, a project, if you will, in the mind of God or in the mind of the all? Question four, is it at all possible that we are really not as important as we may think we are? And number five, is it at all possible that if or when God, aka the all, gets tired of us, and especially tired of our stupidity, get tired of our arrogance, get tired of our attitude towards ourselves and towards each other, get tired of our unrighteousness, you see what's happening right now, etc., that it just change its mind, the all just change its mind and terminate us all, terminate us, aka spew us out of its mind like waste, or flush us out and permanently cleanse its mind of us? Is there anything we can do about that, if that is possible? Think about these things. I wish to hear from you and your commentary on it. If someone can share a perspective on it, I'll be happy to listen or view it. Because all I'm doing here is just thinking out loud. For what the heck do I, the mystic philosopher, know? Or what the heck do I really know? Just asking the question. Now, from I, the mystic philosopher's perspective, human, and all that we human may think of, and that which some call creation, evolution, Big Bang, devolution, etc., etc., are only expressions. That's my perspective. We are only expressions in the mind of God, aka the mind of the all. I'm just using the English word here, God. Remember, this is deeper than this language. We are only expressions in and of the mind of the all. And thus, for the record, human is not God. And human cannot and can never be God, or can never be the all. Now, I heard someone ask me the question that goes like this. But Mystic, Mystic P, didn't I heard you say in a previous episode that as a man or a woman thinks in his or her heart or his or her mind, so is he or she? Didn't I hear you say that? And my answer to that is yes. And I still maintain and stand by my statement. The follow-up question is like this, goes like this. Then Mystic P, if that is correct, then isn't it also true that if a man or a woman thinks in his or her heart or in his or her mind that she is God or anything else for that matter, then he or she, isn't it that he or she is God or anything else that he or she thinks he or she is? And my answer this time to that question is as follows. Yes, it is true that as a man think or as a woman thinks in his or her heart, so is he or she. However, and from I, the mystic philosopher's perspective, a natural man, which I have defined and explained in previous episode and elsewhere, and we'll do it again if necessary. However, a natural human, aka a natural man or a natural woman of sound mind. And again, when I point up here and I point to the mind, I'm just referring to the brain. This is up there, the brain, but this is where my mind tells me to point. So a natural man or a natural woman that is of sound mind, meaning he or she, meaning his or her physical brain is intact and all his or her mental faculties are together and functioning naturally. Therefore, he or she is able to think independently, to think intelligently, to think critically, to think analytically, rationally, reasonably, morally, righteously, and logically, etc. And consequently, he or she is able to behave naturally. Will not or would not think, let alone believe that he or she is God, aka that he or she is the all, that he or she is the unknowable, that he or she is the source of all sources, and nor would he or she think, let alone believe that he or she is a monkey, that he or she is a dog, that he or she is a cat, that he or she is an ape. He or she, the aforementioned of sound mind, natural human, would not think, let alone believe, or he or she would not be thinking, let alone believing that he or she is someone or something else, that he or she is another person. He or she would not think, let alone believe that he or she is an inanimate object, or that he or she is that he or she is becoming one or becoming anything else for that matter. And nor would he or she begin to behave like a monkey, like a dog, like a cat, like an ape, like someone else, or like something else, or like an inanimate object, etc. Not at all. To the natural human, aka the natural man or woman, the one who thinks, whoever thinks like that, or believes like that, and consequently behaves like that, is one that is not of sound mind. Such a one, regardless of his or her societal status, is completely out of balance, is completely out of sync. Such a one is completely off the rock. Such a one is completely out of harmony with Mother Nature and reality. Such a one is completely insane, crazy, mad, aka such a one is a lunatic. Such a man, woman, or thing is sick, disease, aka bad mind, corrupt mind. And such a one should either be left alone to maybe be awakened, to be left alone, to maybe be enlightened, to maybe find him or herself, or to maybe find itself. Or such a one or such a thing should be left alone to his or her own demise, to self-destruct. Or such a one or such a thing should with time allowed to return to its source or to return to its creator in order to maybe be remolded, or to maybe be born again, or as also known as to be reincarnate, and as we Jamaican would say, to wheel and come again, but this time come sound and come good. So in conclusion, when next you as a natural native earthly human see another natural native earthly human, instead of saying there goes God, as some ignoramuses in their gross ignorance and bad mind do, Say instead, there is an expression of God, or that is, or he or she is an expression of God, or there goes an expression of God. But again, I have run out of time for this segment, so please join me in episode 8, where and when I will be sharing some more of my thought-provoking insights and perspectives on the word duality, as promised earlier. And again, I ask that if at all you can, that you please support this series of short presentations, and thanks for those who have already done so. Series of short presentations titled Another Perspective on Healthy Living. It's another perspective on healthy living by simply purchasing your daily supply of lignans. And this time, lignans from the Norwegian spruce tree, aka Fountain of Life, from yours truly, I, the Mystic Philosopher, by clicking on the links provided in the description area below this video. You may also purchase a digital copy of my song playing in the background called Have You Heard of Fountain of Life? By clicking on the link by the same name. Your kind support will be greatly appreciated. In the meantime and between time, in your becoming, I will that you be more and not less, aka be less. I am the Mystic Philosopher. Ashe, 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 I say.